Welcome to Coffee Powered Systems, equipping women with actionable steps to overcome overwhelm and streamline business and life. So grab your favorite drink and come hang out with me. I'm your host, Miranda Merton. Welcome back to Coffee Powered Systems. Today is Tip Tuesday, where I give you the skinny on an app or a tool that could be useful for your personal productivity. And today I'm talking about GoodPods, because is social podcasting a thing? We have social media, we have Twitter, Instagram, all of them have feeds to scroll through that you can see what your friends are up to. That is basically the idea behind GoodPods. GoodPods is a podcast listening app. You can listen to your favorite podcasts within their built-in player. You just download the app from the App Store, just like any other podcast player that you have. But what makes it different is that you can actually see a feed of all your podcasts, what your friends are listening to, what they recommend. You can actually talk to other fans that are on the site, so you can leave comments within the feeds, comments on the podcast posts as well, and you can talk to the hosts of the podcasts if they are participating on GoodPods, which is super cool. It's kind of like another layer. It's just like any other social media app. So you can follow your favorite podcast hosts. You can see what your favorite celebrities are listening to and recommending. Celebrities like Gwyneth Paltrow, Gretchen Rubin, Rachel Hollis, they're all on there listening and recommending their favorite podcasts as well. So every time they listen to an episode within the app, they can basically upvote the episode or share it to their feed. And if you're following them, you get to see that as well. They can leave a comment, share the episode, and you can go check it out. If you are just a listener, meaning you don't have a podcast on there and you're just going on to listen, you can bookmark episodes for later. You can chat with other fans. You can directly recommend your favorite episodes to friends. So if you've ever been on sites like Goodreads, where you can recommend your books and you have a feed like that, it's pretty much the exact same thing. Now, if you're a podcaster, you can actually go onto GoodPods and claim your show so that you can interact with your listeners as well. GoodPods does have an algorithm, so it builds your audience organically as well. So, the more views you have, the more shares you have. It is just like a social feed. It will build your audience for you as well. It's just another channel to bring traffic to you. You can also cross-promote your shows with other podcasters. And just like any other social feed, the more people you follow and interact with, the more variety you'll see. So if you're just following a few people on there, if they're not posting as often or if they only post once a week, you won't get as much in your feed, but you can still go to your app library and listen to your regular podcasts if you choose to do that as well. They do have an iTunes import, so you can import all of your podcasts that you already listen to on iTunes. They may have some other platforms as well, so you can check that out. So GoodPods is free. It's just like any other social media platform. And on their site, it says, podcasts are better with friends. Simple enough, right? So it was created by a brother and sister duo, Ken and JJ Ramberg, and they basically wanted to create something that they could find new podcasts with. They were always wondering what to listen to next whenever they opened up their podcast app, and they thought this was a great way to do that. So that is the gist of GoodPods. I will drop the link down in the show notes for you. You can also find my podcast on GoodPods. Go ahead and add that to your library, rate it, and subscribe. And I'll let you know my favorite podcasts as well. I will also put every link down in the show notes, so don't feel like you have to scribble these down. You can just click on the link and go right to their website or their iTunes show. My first one that I wanted to mention is the Angie Lee Show. Angie keeps it real by doing interviews and solo shows about growing your audience authentically. So she doesn't run ads. She doesn't do all this fancy funnels and stuff like that. So she just kind of brings to the table what she does and what she has done and tells you how to grow your audience and interact with your people in an authentic way. Next up is the Business, Life, and Joy podcast with Shanta Grant. Shanta is fabulous. Another one that is just so honest about everything, honest about business. She talks about business, productivity, and she gives a good kick in the pants, just telling you how to do business, again, authentically. And I think that's a huge thing, especially in this day and age. We're tired of things that are being overproduced. We can all see right through it. I think it's oversaturated, and we just want to know, how can we get there as a smaller brand? How can we build our brand in an authentic way and attract the right kind of people? The next one up is Doing It Online, the Doable Online Marketing Podcast. This is with Kate McKibben. And for those of us with online businesses, which is most of my listeners, Kate gives easy and practical advice for running your business online. Micro Famous with Matt Johnson tells us how to service our audience and service the right people. So what he talks about is that it's not so much about growing a large audience as much as it is nurturing the right one. So that can be if your audience is 10 people or 10,000. He talks about how to really kind of get micro and niche down and make sure you are targeting the right people. And Systems Saved Me with Jordan Gill. Jordan does an interview podcast all about systems. So she is amazing when it comes to systems and workflows. And when you tune into her podcast, you're going to hear some of the best people around the internet talking about how they run their businesses with systems and automation. So that's just a handful of the podcasts that I wanted to pull out on basically productivity and online businesses. You'll notice not so much of the huge ones because we all know Gary Vee and Pat Flynn and Entrepreneur on Fire. We all love those podcasts, but I wanted to bring in some of the other ones that are also fantastic, but maybe you haven't heard about yet. So if you have a favorite podcast, I would love to hear what it is because I'm always looking for new podcasts to listen to. So go ahead and DM me at Miranda Merton on Instagram and let me know what you're listening to. That is my tip for today, and I will see you next time. Thanks for listening to Coffee Powered Systems. You can find links to everything mentioned in the episode down in the show notes or on the website at mirandamerton.com. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with another bestie who would love it too, and join me here next time.